What happens when you take 13 of Saskatchewan's best and most creative chefs, along with a room full of local celebrities from the worlds of arts, politics, and entertainment, and introduce them to 17 dedicated organic farmers and the exceptional products they produce. Where you might just get yourself an invitation to dining with the stars.
So come on in and I'll give you a tour around. Hi, I'm Kevin Dahlsjo, Executive Chef and owner of 2 by Dahlsjo. This is my new restaurant. Opened up in early June. We're a 26-seat chalkboard menu featuring kind of local cuisine. Add to all of our produce and herbs and stuff all come from the family farm. All of our root vegetables and stuff are more or less looked after by my folks. Herbs and all topsoil vegetables are grown in the family greenhouse. We've got a few greenhouses in Canistino, as well as one and a small little garden in Melfort where my older sister runs it. They just kind of bring it up 2 or 3 times a week, and we just that's what we base our menu on. So we decided to call the restaurant 2. Reason being, with the catering company and the restaurant, 2 is just second business. Nobody can really say my last name, so just a little different twist on things. Just good ingredients, done simple, and just easy food, just done right. The cooks are the servers are the cooks. So that way, you know, if a table has a question or an allergy or something, they can be answered right on the spot. And it's just different. We're open at night times. We do chef tasting menus, wine tasting menus. We do a lot of theme nights. Live music is coming in the very near future, and dessert nights and tapa nights. So we're look for something new all the time. Like, we're starting to smile already, you know, and it's only going to get busier. Like, I'd love to open up a little grocery store where it's very hands-on, kind of, you know, where you can actually have a shelf where you have your homemade jams, preserves, your garden vegetables, oils, vinegars, that type of thing. Everything that we sell or whatever we do is all focused on the restaurant. I would love to be able to say that I'm out doing a franchise. I mean, I'm not at that point yet, but it would be kind of nice to get to that point where you're starting to knock on the door and taking business away from franchise rather than the other way around. But whether you'll ever get to that point, when people do come in, it's nice to have other people enjoy the same thing I do. I like people when they come in, they see the, you know, basic food, but the way we present it and the stuff, just kind of, it's fun. No, we'll play with a no recipe style menu, and we'll see what we end up with.
welcome everyone on such a cool evening. I'm Val Drummond, and I'm someone who expects that the local food will be absolutely the best. And I've been looking for this restaurant for a while, like for a few weeks now, and I hadn't quite located it, so I'm so excited to finally find it and actually have an opportunity to try out so many of these wonderful sounding foods.
I'm excited to have a big meal like this. Usually when you're not cooking the meal, you get to enjoy it a little more, so I'm expecting some good company, some laughs, and a good meal. And I get to take my wife out on a date, and this counts as a date right now because I'm on the road so much. So Merry Christmas. This is your Christmas present. So enjoy this, and don't say I don't take you out anywhere.
My name is Lon Borgerson. I'm a Director of Education for Isle Cross School Division. I've been an educator for all of my life, but I have had other jobs as well, including a job that allowed me to do some research into organic food and organic agriculture. And I learned an awful lot from that research. Some of it I knew already. I grew up on a family farm, and when I look back on it, not only was nearly all of the food we ate at that time local, but it was organic, not certified organic at that time, but it was local organic food. And I don't think I've ever eaten as well as I did when I was growing up on that small family farm.
Dear Lord, I'd just like to thank you for the delicious meal we're about to eat, and if you could bless all this great organic Saskatchewan food and all our guests here, and a safe trip home after the meal. Thank you very much. Amen.
Kevin, who will talk to us about the menu as we go along, has managed to work wild rice into every piece of the menu tonight.
We knew we had the rice was kind of our, I guess, the main theme. As you can see, it's in everything. And then he just talked about some certain things I liked, and I get to travel different places, so I get to eat different types of things. And we came back to pickerel, as I think it's one of my favorite fish to eat out of all the kinds you can have. People like, oh, there's salmon and halibut. I don't know if it's because I'm a Saskatchewan guy, I enjoy pickerel, and it's easier to debone. Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, I'd like to thanks for coming out on a chill evening to 2 by Dahlsjo. Kelly Taylor and myself, we sat down quite a few weeks ago, I guess, with Aj, and kind of brainstormed a few ideas. First course is just a twist on potatoes. Plain and simple, what we're going to do is we added some fresh herbs to it. We made kind of a twist on potato gnocchi. We're going to serve it with ground chorizo hash. Wild rice will be in with the chorizo hash, and we're going to serve it with a Chardonnay lemon butter and a minted and spinach and pea puree. Alrighty?
We started this project when I was given the job of creating awareness of local and organic food. And so I thought, how can I touch the most people's lives with this and make connections at the same time between producers and the chefs and the consumer. We contacted 16 producers around the province and 13 restaurants that are handpicked because they serve local and organic food. They all were quite enthused about participating in the project. And then we've engaged celebrities from politics, from sports, from entertainment, from media, from the arts. So there's a real variety of stars involved, our celebrities. The other stars at our events, though, are our chefs. It's interesting to note after we got started that the chefs involved in the gold plates competition in Saskatoon recently are all on my list, and I thought, well, that says a lot for the caliber of the people involved.
I'll just explain the next course. It's a twist on a spring roll. It's not deep fried. What it is, it's northern pickerel fillet, and we wrapped it up in phyllo pastry with some pickled peppers from Keith Neo out of, I might have said his name wrong, I'm sorry, but out of Hudson Bay. And we're serving it with a little cream lentils from the Daybreak Mill in Estevan, and we're going to serve it with a little lemon herb salad and fresh rocket. So
Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
What is? We have pickerel, wild rice, and lentils all together on one forkful. It just doesn't get any better than this.
In Europe, we sell wild rice and lentils in our packaging, and it goes really good. Like we use the green French lentils, Maplin from Saskatchewan, and we ship them to Copenhagen. And then back to Copenhagen, we have a packaging factory there. And we do it that's one thing we do in 7 languages, lentils with wild rice.
You package them together?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they cook the same, and they
Next course now, it's I believe it's the elk course next, the tacos. And actually we've added on to the course of what you've already got there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bed it on a bed of creamed beetroot leaves. Then we got the actual beet itself. We dusted them and poached them / deep fried in sesame oil. We're gonna serve that with a braised short rib. And underneath that's going to be an actual elk sirloin steak medallion. And we're going to finish off a little bit of béarnaise sauce. And pickle, I think this one's got the pickled wild rice.
It's seasonal food, as you can imagine. At this time of the year, seasonal is challenging when it comes to some of the things, but it's also interesting how of our 16 producers, they do have food available at this time of the year, in spite of everything we might believe. So we've gone to Hudson Bay. We're getting our vegetables. Our root vegetables come from Keith New of Hudson Bay, and Keith happens to run a cooperative where he delivers food into Saskatoon all the way from Hudson Bay every 2 weeks, and he brings in some chickens and some of his other meat products and his certified organic vegetable. All of the flour products came all the way from down by Estevan. With Daybreak Shareski Mills, with Raymond and Marianne Aspinall, who have done a wonderful job of mailing out to all of the restaurants a sampling of their flour products. And we've already tasted some wonderful buns and breads that have been made from their products. We have the red clover blossom syrup that you're seeing towards the end comes from Bedard Creek Acres and Lynn Brown, who started up an enterprise of making syrup out of some of our Saskatchewan plants, like red clover. And she's now marketing that commercially. And so we get to sample some of that with our dessert tonight. The elk and the bison, they're local, and they're people that Kevin Dahlsjo works with all the time here at 2. And you'll find wild meat showing up on his menus on a regular basis. I have all of the menus from all the restaurants listed on our website. So you can take a look on the website and search for both the producers and the menus and the restaurants in question. So when you're traveling the province, you'll know where to stop. We've been talking about Lynn and Iris Reese, and they have the Canadian wild lake rice.
One thing about the business we're in, my wife and I are some of the luckiest people alive, I think. I always say God's been good to us because our business can be done in such a wonderful place. Northern Saskatchewan is really special. It's got lots of lakes, and we live on the lake, and it's clean water, and there's lots of good fishing.
It affords us a lifestyle that's absolutely wonderful, living in northern Saskatchewan, where the air is very clean and the water is very pure still. It's someplace my husband and I both enjoy living, and we get to travel to promote wild rice. So we have the best of all worlds.
The whole concept of our life, there's just no place I'd rather be.
Hi, I'm Iris Reese. I'm Lynn's wife and partner for Reese's Canadian Lake Wild Rice. I just love wild rice, so I put it in everything. Anything that you can do with white rice, you can do with wild rice and more.
The real wild rice grows quite large in the wilderness, and it's in clear waters and unpolluted waters. And when you go to harvest it, it doesn't all ripen at the same time because it's a wild plant, so we have to go over it several times. So you end up getting it all really ripe rice the way we do it, and it's very nice tasting because it's not grown in the shallow sort of fields, you might say. Ours is quite a bit more work intensive, but it's worth it in the end because the taste is far superior. We have a nice nutty roasted taste to it. When you see it in the fields, it just looks like a wheat field in the water. I mean, it's the big heads on it and really healthy looking plants. So it's just a very large wild grass. And that's what it is. Like I say, years ago it got misnamed. It seems to I think it should be changed personally, but it's not like grain that you can keep in storage. It comes in with a fairly high moisture content, and we have to get it roasted or dehydrated within about 2 weeks. Basically, we try to turn it over and get that done so that it keeps at the best quality. The biggest difference between our competition that has from the U.S. that has paddy wild rice is that it's domesticated. It's grown in shallow fields just with a foot and a half of water or so, and it's non-shattering. They've changed it so that when they harvest it, they just come let the water out and come in with big combines and thresh it and put it in, load it into trucks, and then off to the plants they go to get it dehydrated. Taste of wild rice from the wilds of northern Saskatchewan or northern Canada are very obvious when you try them both together. So most people buy it again when they find a good supplier of Reese's Canadian Lake wild rice. So the last 20 years we've been mainly in wild rice, growing it, harvesting it, and marketing it. We market all over the world really, but mainly we started in Saskatchewan years ago doing food shows, and we had a lot of growers because there wasn't many people selling wild rice. It wasn't well known, and so we had at that time about 158 growers, I think, that we worked with. We bought wild rice, we found a home for it, we established markets, and it was really exciting back in those days for sure, because we were just opening up markets all over the place. And we had to do a lot of training, a lot of explain to people how wild rice is cooked, and we did shows down there, and then we went into the retail, and we got boxes made for 7 different languages in Europe. And it's really interesting, but now we're at a very healthy place in our business where we've got really excellent distribution. We've got people we've worked out with for years. We've got customers, new ones coming in or that we're starting to work with. It's interesting. The quality is very good. The group of growers we work with are all good harvesters, and we wait till make sure the rice is really ripe. And the way we harvest it at the right speed so that the best quality is harvested and it's most mature. And then we make sure at the plant that they're using proper ways of roasting it and dehydrating the rice, and then it's stored properly. And the service we give is like we have a phone by our bed. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We find in Europe that they're calling us at 4 in the morning. That's when they're working. So that's some of the things that our company does that's, I think, is unique. But we harvest anywhere from 600 to 1,400 acres, depends on the year. Some years there's a lot of wild rice comes up if the water's low and it's hot weather and not a lot of wind, not a lot of rain. And other years there's just a really good crops where we'll end up having a lot of wild rice acres to harvest. So it's every year is different. Well, first of all we bring it into our docks. We have a central place where we bring it into the dock and fly it out to. In our particular lake, it's 15 miles away, and we bring it into L'Orange in actually a converted school bus. Takes the seats out, that way it doesn't get dusty. It goes to the wild rice processing plant, which we're part owners of. The plant's owned by a large group of different native bands and individuals. So it goes to the plant, and then it's roasted and dehydrated, and it all comes off and packaged in 55 or 55-pound bags or 25-pound bags. Put on pallets. We usually ship it a pallet at a time, or a container at a time, and there's a metric ton on a pallet. Or else we just do it in individual bags, often get shipped into our customers, but we try to work through distributors that that distributed all over the place, both retail and wholesale. It's sort of a nutty taste because it's roasted, and it's quite a pleasant taste. It goes good with a lot of different things. You can use it, we use it just every day, just about in something. We have it in some excellent stores, specialty food stores, old-fashioned foods, and the Solios in Saskatoon, old-fashioned foods in Regina, Early's in Saskatoon.
As my husband mentioned, I put it in soups and stews, in chili, and casseroles, in desserts. I put it in homemade bread. You name it. That you can do anything with wild rice. It's wonderful, and it's the health benefit of it.
What's your favorite wild rice?
You can do anything with wild rice. It's wonderful.
And it's great. It's great that we've been able to do, and we plan to do it for quite a while yet, to keep marketing and selling a wonderful product to the world. That first straight. It shouldn't be. It should have been called wild grain, and I wanted to do that years ago, and now we're finally just doing it a bit away. You know, it should have been called. It's misnamed because we're competing with the cheapest stuff, just because it's cooked in water and grows in water. You know, basically. I guess the passion is creating work and making money, because our product is the most organic thing in Canada. Really, wild rice has always been organic. It grows in lakes and streams, and there's no anything used at all into it, so it's a natural product that is organic and always has been. So if we could see the selling points, and there's a lot of small growers that we market for, and the organic thing, if it's done properly and if it's priced right, is a wonderful part of selling our product. Nutritional benefits it's reasonably high in fiber, and that's the main one, and it just tastes good. You know, the protein's high. You know, and everything it's reasonably high in, and it's a natural product, of course. So that's the main things. Where they're low and they're high in like for diabetics, for example, white rice is pretty hard on diabetics because it's got it's changed the starch so much, whereas wild rice doesn't.
And it's gluten. Add that it's also gluten-free for those that are celiac disease. They can eat that, and it's a healthy product for them.
We're the largest independent grower because we have a lot more hectares.
The main course is actually a twist on burgers. We made homemade buckwheat Kaisers, and it's a little bison burger from the Meridian Bison Company. And we're serving it with a mushroom duck salad, kind of Marchand de Vin type chutney, and shredded aged cheddar. And we're serving it, our chips are rutabaga. And we're serving it with a carrot ginger ketchup. So a little different twist on burgers and fries. So we'll have fun.
It is so bad. I just can't stand it.
This guy's got bright ideas. He's the kind of people we need to be chefs in these restaurants.
I guess I find it interesting what the cooks can do with the food that's given to them, and I just you don't know what to expect. Like when he talked about an elk steak, you know, you figure this great big steak, and but you know, with the way he made it, it was tasty, and then the fish, I don't know how he rolled that in. It's like he slivered it all off. Like it's interesting and it's tasteful.
There's a lot of these foods that I wasn't actually a fan of before. Like I've never liked beets until tonight. So it's just seeing all of these things that you've grown in Saskatchewan and that are here, and that there's different ways of making them, and they're really, really good.
Wild rice that was cooked in restaurants as good as we've had tonight, we wouldn't even be able to grow enough. Seriously, like, biggest problem we have is people don't understand it, and the chefs that are cooking it aren't familiar. This is really good. I've been in this business 30 years selling wild rice, and I just really appreciate when chefs take a bit of a lead and do special stuff with it. And like I say, if everybody had what we had tonight, we wouldn't be able to grow enough of it.
I know that many people, the first time they taste anything it is in a restaurant. They don't know how to prepare it at home, and so if they taste it in a restaurant, they have some idea what to do. And so I'm very happy to see the variety of food presented here, as well as the way he's presented it. And in particular, the spring rolls were fantastic. The combination of flavors were just wonderful. I'd highly recommend that to be a regular item on the restaurant if it isn't.
But it's just important, really important for people all across the province to recognize what we have here. And, you know, and then, you know, the studies have shown that when people really have that choice, number one on their list is local and organic food. And then second and third, local and organic. So, anyway, it's just very gratifying to know that there's been such good work done. And I know the Saskatchewan Organic Directorate is just, you know, has a long record and history of doing